You need me to hide a body? That's January 29th, August 6th, July 31st, June 11th, March 22nd. And she says, I'm sorry, virtual hugs. And if you need help hiding a body, let me know. You got to dig a 10-foot hole and bury it vertically.
Oh, yeah. And we're just getting started.
Milltown's Best Video.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Super Dave, and of course, you're watching Milltown's Best. Guys, when I bring up the term family vlogging, what comes to mind? Is it Shay Carl and the Shaytards? Maybe it's Somers in Alaska. Perhaps the Ace family? You see, all three of these families have one thing in common. They have a mutual enemy in Josh of the Dad Challenge podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh.
Josh of the DCP, the Dad Challenge podcast, is a Canada-based YouTuber, videographer, and podcaster. We like to call that the triple threat. And well, because of his recent success and growth of his channel, he's been dealing with a lot of hate.
You released videos, probably 10 to 15 to 20 videos about how much you hated me on the internet.
So much hate, in fact, he has open letters of hate against him. There have been petitions to get him deplatformed. And finally, guys, he's been swatted.
I had an inkling it's probably something like being swatted, right? Now, Canada's SWAT team doesn't exist like your SWAT teams do in the States. I use the term swatting because basically it's calling the police and trying to get someone in trouble or killed in the States. So what happens is someone will call the police and they'll say, we think this person is doing something. In this case, the person had called and said, we think that there's a woman being held captive in her own home, okay? And they respond pretty aggressively to that. They were not nice to me, by the way. So anyway, I head upstairs and I listen on the Ring doorbell and I'm listening, I'm laughing. I'm like, oh my God, we're being swatted right now. So I let Kathy speak to them a little bit. Then I pop back downstairs after Kathy spoke to the Forbidden, like, I'm going to be out here talking to you guys because, it's my right. So they were very much more open at that point because I talked to her for a few minutes. And I said, sorry guys, your time's being wasted. I know why you're here. And then I continue to tell them all about my platform and how it could be polarizing to some people and how I speak against the exploitation of children online. And I got a few enemies. Not a ton, but I got a few very vocal, crazy bananas enemies, okay? And they let me know that there's going to be another detective on the way because another call came in the same day from the same number that I abuse my children. And they have witnesses and cameras of me abusing my children. That's where I'm like, you took it too far, asshole. And so the detective had to come to our house and they had to do this whole rigmarole. They have to interview you and all your children and everything else. And then they had to bring a CS agent from Mississauga for some reason. It was crazy. It took about 4 hours to get through the whole thing. And so I started realizing, holy shit, this stalker is taking it way too far.
You see, guys, this stalking has been an ongoing thread in Josh's videos as of late. He recently released a video because he swore he knew who this stalker was, who was threatening him, trying to swat him, and giving him and his family pure hell.
As I started this channel, I realized that my chats were getting big and I needed some moderators. And on moderator, you'll see in my chat, they have a wrench. So moderators who are in this chat, go ahead and throw up your thumbs, okay? Moderators have a wrench, which means that they can block people. They moderate the chat. They can see the comments that get flagged and they can release them or delete them or block people. Moderators are very, very important in YouTubers' world, okay? Problem with moderators, especially on YouTube, is that you don't know who they are. Along comes a mod about a year and a half ago, a little bit more than a year and a half ago, named Ames. Now, you guys might recognize if you've been in this channel for a little while, okay? Now, Ames came into this channel and she was just that person that was really aggressively going full bore in support of me. She'd be in the chat being funny and all those kind of things. She would stand out. And eventually, Ames became a mod. She knew about hater comments before I ever even saw them. And then one weird night, I woke up to like hundreds of messages from other mods saying, Ames deleted 2,000 people out of the Facebook group. Ames does that, and we mitigate the disaster. I say, just don't do that anymore, please. And then we talk about it, we get it all squared away, and I know that other mods are not happy with Ames at all. She gets this little bit of elevation of power, and she becomes like this power-hungry mod that I didn't see. Because she was creating separate chats without me in them with other mods, and telling mods to do this and that and the other thing, and she's saying, Josh told me to do this, when I did not. So it got to a point where other mods started reaching out to me and saying, look, we don't want to be a part of the DCP anymore because we don't want to work with Ames. And I'm like, whoa, what the heck happened here? And it's my fault for not seeing it earlier because I was given warning signals from other people saying, hey, look, this is what's happening. But I was like, are you sure? And people were, I'm like, are you just paranoid? And, hindsight is 2020, but now I realize they were not being paranoid. Ames was doing some crazy stuff. I had to let Ames go. I had to say, I'm sorry. Like, I know you've been loyal to me. I know you've been trying. I know you've been even doing all these things possibly because you were doing them for me in some sick and weird way. I don't know if she was, but that's in my head. That's what I thought. I mean, obviously at this point, you know that my stalker is Ames, right? I don't have to say, I don't have to do a big reveal.
Moderators, guys. Can you believe that? Moderators. All this stems from a moderator in his channel, on his chats, because as we said, the DCP does do live streams. So honestly, for all of this to stem from such a small little bit of power shows me how far some people will go for the ever so elusive clout.
When you get swatted, that's real world, right? I've never had that before, and that was real world for me. It's a wake-up call, and that can cause anxiety, for sure. I also know that Ames is the person behind reaching out to all of the people that I cover. Doherty Dozen, Jess Fam, probably Sunkissed Mom, but probably everybody. Every person I've ever had a problem with, Ames has reached out to them and said, here's the file I have on Josh. You should probably sue him. I have everything you need.
It baffles me when I see things like this, and Josh, who is honestly a creator's creator, putting all this out there for us would-be creators to learn from.
That's what happens early in YouTubers' careers. So if you're going to be a YouTuber, or you are one right now, and you're starting to grow a little bit, be very wary of those that you are signing on to be a part of your inner circle. And I'm telling you this, NDAs, 100%, and do complete background checks, 100% of the people you're going to let in your inner circle. Obviously, let them know you're going to do it. Let them sign off on it. And if they don't let you sign off on it, don't let them be a part of your circle. Okay? Because if I would have done a sign off, if I would have done that for my mod, if I would have done that for Ames, I would have found out some shit about her. That's quite crazy, actually, what you're going to find out today. So
I found this video so very fascinating, and come to find out, you really never do know who you are truly meeting online.
Here are claims versus reality of what Ames has said over the time that they knew her. Okay? Here's what Ames has claimed. She grew up in Honduras. Okay? Reality. She grew up in a small town in Florida. Ames claims she grew up in a sex cult in Cuba. Her cult is a normal Christian church with a radio station. She claims she's Jewish and kosher. Does not eat kosher things, so she is not Jewish and kosher. Claims to be Hispanic. Is registered as white, non-Hispanic. Registered as white and non-Hispanic. And her mother, I won't show you a picture of her mom, is white. She is not Hispanic, everybody. Just right there at that moment, ding, 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 red flags galore. When someone claims to be a race that they're not, whew. She claims that Spanish is her main language. Her reality is fakes a thick Spanish accent sometimes, other times sounds fully American. And of course, yes, we do have some proof of that. I'll show you afterwards. Ames makes all these crazy claims because she wants attention. And all of them are lies. Okay, this is a crazy person. Basically, she claims she has specific illness and later reacts, claims she had a different number of surgeries, 14, 16, 18, pretends to be going to the emergency room or doctor, and claims to be home and done with them too quickly to be possible. Right, so an example is, had a cyst burst and had to rush to the ER at 2 a.m., was in the chat messaging like normal that day at 2 a.m. So did she? Right, she's just lying. Father of her child tried to kidnap her and sell her into sex slavery. That's what she has claimed multiple times. I didn't know this stuff, by the way. She would tell everybody else this stuff. Certain things she would tell me, and I'd be like, oh, okay. I reached out to the father. He's like, this is crazy. So he completely denies this, by the way. And he seems normal. I'm not going to tell you who he is, but if you look at his page like this, so this guy tried to sell his daughter in sex slavery, and he's just living out in the world? Okay. Her baby daddy used her for a green card and was caught for immigration fraud, but ICE just let him go. She said she breastfed the neighborhood's kids in Honduras. I'm sorry, what? Claims she was fired from her CNA job from reporting them for not having a translator, but she was the translator. Although it's illegal to deny a patient translator services in the U.S. Failed out of nursing school by only 2 points twice, she said. This is the lie, this is truth. We have proof of her saying these things, everybody. On February 9th, 2021 and January 7th, 2021, she said she had 18 surgeries for endo. On April 7th, 2021, she posted on TikTok she's had 14 surgeries for endo. And on August 17th, 2021, she said she's had 16. This is just since becoming a mod. And she would say all these things for the attention it gave her, right? She wanted attention on her at all times. Because this is somebody, guys, who is sick in the head. Now, this is where it starts getting a little bit more serious. This is the times that Ames would mention things like hacking an IP, okay? Facebook is easier for IP looking up. I'm trying to find her IP. I figured the cyber unit can find his IP. I can't find the IP address. The IP is off by one number, and that means it's VPN. Yeah, I'm going to find her IP. If I can find that a pic, I can search her IP. I can look into the IP and all that if you want. Now, this isn't to me. This is to other people. I did not know she was messaging people this shit. These are her other secret messages with other mods. These are some things that those mods found. I think I might have to hide a body later. Now, you could say that once, and it's like, haha, jokes. You could say it once, right? I say that about Mark's my ride or die. You know, where do we hide the body? It's a funny joke. You say it once and you move on. But this is what happened. Yep, the bodies are too dry. It's okay to tell your wife I offer my same services I do for Kathy. Hello, but I will help hide a body. Hey, I would help Kathy hide a body if you ever did cheat. Meaning she'd help hide my body if I ever did cheat. You need me to hide a body? That's January 29th, August 6th, July 31st, June 11th, March 22nd. And she says, I'm sorry, virtual hugs, and if you need help hiding a body, let me know. You got to dig a 10-foot hole and bury it vertically. And this is the craziest one here. Of all the things you guys are about to watch, this is the thing that should scare you, and I won't even tell my wife this exists. Insulin in the toes is hard to detect. Right? And this is obviously what I sent to the police and what I made my file on and I sent to lawyers, because that shit is crazy compared to all the things we've seen. She then goes on to say that you could kill somebody by putting insulin in their toes and it's hard to detect. I would kill too, she says, or hide the body. Hehehe, I am an amazing shot. Better with the machete.
It's probably more prevalent now because there's been a whole generation of people, for the past decade or so who have been living online. And how many of them have been living a lie for so long? I believe there's a saying that if you live a lie for so long, you believe it's the truth. You start to believe it's the truth. And I think that is true here. It's crazy to me that Josh gave this woman a little bit of power and she wanted to see how far she could stretch it and how far she could abuse it. I feel and sympathize with his need to protect his family.
I will take every legal avenue to f your shit up as much as possible. Okay? I do not take kindly to people threatening my family and saying things. Like there's no depths I will not go to protect my family. Do you understand me? Like that's why I'm like, don't talk about my family ever, they're off limits. Okay? Don't ever do it.
Honestly, I commend him for putting this video out there and I'm glad he did it. Guys, the whole moral of this story is it's all good to see creators grow and it's good to want to be a part of that and help that creator grow. But if that creator takes you under his wing or her wing and gives you a little bit of rope, try not to hang yourself with it. Be a part of the solution, not a problem. I feel like this Ames character really does have a lot of mental health issues that she needs to deal with.
He let go all the mods who stood up for me like it was nothing. Yeah, I let go of the mods that you convinced to be on your side. A person who said you're going to stick a needle in someone's toes to kill them. I let them go, yes. Sorry, I didn't want them in my circle, being their little feeders to you.
And I wonder how many other Ames are out there in these other creators' fan bases. Again, I found this video so very useful. Guys, if you want to watch the rest of the DCP video, I highly recommend it. Check out Josh at the Dad's Challenge podcast. He has been getting so much hate. Let's just show him some love. Go check out his channel, subscribe, and honestly, leave some thumbs up. Tell him you support him because his mission is a noble one. He is standing up against child exploitation. These children can't give permission to be in these videos. With all that being said, guys, I'm going to get off of here. I hope you found this video somewhat useful and somewhat enjoyable. If you did, like and share it, and we'll carry on. All right, guys, peace.
She's going to be sued for claiming that I asked her to find child pee on the internet and putting that out there. I don't care if I lose. I'm going to sue the living shit out of Ames for doing this. For someone who was butthurt because she couldn't be part of the little circle. It's not that deep, dumbass.